What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name's Chris. I'm going to be your host for today, and today we're going to go on a little bit of a rant because these are 5 of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to the whiskey world. Let me know in the comment section some of yours. First, we got to find something to drink here, and I never know what to pick, so let's think about this. Let's go with the higher proof stuff tonight. This is Bardstown Batch out of Booker's. This is a 2021-03. But hey, everybody knows before we get started, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. Damn, that's good. So here's the deal. I'm maybe 3 or 4 years into my whiskey drinking hobby now, and there's a lot of stuff I've noticed over the years that truly bothers me, and I feel like I didn't have a spot to talk about it, at least until now. I feel like I've put enough time in for me to say this bothers me, and for you guys to either agree or disagree with me. So let's get into number 1 right now. The first thing that bothers me more than anything is buzzwords. There are a lot of words on a bottle of whiskey. On this one, perhaps you see the word single barrel. On this one over here, you have very small batch. On this one here, you just have a regular small batch. This one's the top floor, and all of these mean absolutely nothing. You see it all the time, single rack, limited edition. What do all of these words mean? Nothing at all, because they're not regulated by any type of government agency. There are words on here that are regulated. For example, the word bourbon is regulated. The word straight is regulated. All of these words that you think should be regulated, and yet some of them are not. On this bottle over here, we talk about the proof. The proof is obviously regulated, but yet the other words on these bottles mean absolutely nothing, and yet people are still buying them because the words are on there. And the one that I absolutely hate the most is small batch. Small batch can mean 2 barrels of bourbon, 2,000 barrels of bourbon, 200,000 barrels of bourbon. It's not regulated. As long as they're batching it, they can call it a small batch. Again, this one is a very small batch, and this one's a small batch. How many barrels do they use for each one of these? Nobody knows, and it doesn't have to be disclosed. Again, there's no threshold that you have to meet a minimum or maximum number of barrels to be called a small batch. And another one that I've been learning a little bit more about lately is single barrel. Now, single barrel, again, is not regulated by any means, so technically any bottle could put single barrel on there if they want. Now, while most of the time you're probably getting one specific barrel, there does seem to be a little bit of shadiness going on behind the single barrel world. Perhaps some distillers are putting a batched product into one single barrel and then calling that a single barrel because it came out of a single barrel. Some distillers may be telling you, well, it's a single barrel's worth of bourbon that's getting bottled, but that doesn't make it a single barrel. And if you think about it, the process to actually bottle a single barrel would be crazy. You have to dump one barrel out, you have to bottle it, you have to clean all of the equipment in between the next bottling of the next barrel. So I understand the process is definitely tough, but don't put on your label it's a single barrel if it's not a single barrel. And the last one that I haven't really confirmed nor denied yet is the words made by versus distilled by. So a bottle is supposed to tell you what state it was distilled in, but it doesn't technically have to tell you who distilled it. But it also could just say it was made by, even though it wasn't distilled by that company. It could be made by and bottled by, and you might think that that company is distilling it when really they're sourcing it and just bottling it. So again, buzzwords, I understand why they're there. It definitely catches the eye. It appeals to the consumer. But at the end of the day, if there's no real language that's regulated behind half of these buzzwords, then what does it really matter? Let's get into pet peeve number 2, because that's enough on buzzwords. Cheers, y'all. I already put the bottles away, but the last thing I'm going to say on buzzwords is limited edition. Every single whiskey is a limited edition. It's never the same, right? Every barrel is going to be different, so every blend is going to be different. Stop telling me it's a limited edition. I already can't get my hands on it. We know they're limited. Anyway, let's get back to it. Pet peeve number 2 is undisclosed sourcing, mash bill, or age when it comes to a bottle. And the reason I have these 2 bottles right up here is because these are 2 of my favorite bottles, both sourced by MGP, and neither of these brands hide that. Now, I do wish I still had my bottle from Kentucky Owl to show you because they don't tell you anything about that bottle. They don't tell you who distills it. They keep everything secret. They don't give you a hint on the mash bill. They don't tell you one thing about the age statement. And all of this bothers me because I don't know what it's worth. I don't know what I'm drinking. I don't know who distilled it. I don't know if some dude distilled it in his bathtub and then they're trying to sell it to me for $240. I just don't know. And it's so hard, especially when you're in the world of comparing whiskeys to other whiskeys. And is this bottle better than this bottle? To do that without knowing more information about the bottle. Who distilled it? Is this a distillery that I already enjoy? Maybe it's distilled by Wild Turkey. Maybe it's sourced by Heaven Hill. 2 distilleries that I love. But if I don't know that, then maybe I'm not going to like that bourbon as much, or maybe I am, and I want to learn more about why I like that bourbon, and I need to know what the mash bill is. I need to know an age statement on it. Give me something, because giving me nothing is really bothering me. And I will say this, I do think the future of whiskey is going to be opening up to the idea of actually telling people more information about the bottles, because I think it does keep people interested. I think it allows them to connect to the bottle a little bit more rather than just say, oh, this was a good whiskey, and then you're done with it. Again, it's just one of those things that it bothers me because I truly enjoy some whiskeys and I wish I knew more about them. And then when I don't know anything about them, I don't know what I should try next from either that brand or that distiller or whoever it happens to be, or what my favorite age statement is, or what my favorite anything is when it comes to that particular bottle. And again, Kentucky Owl Confiscated was one of these bottles that triggered this for me. I absolutely hate the fact that I don't know anything about that bottle, and yet I'm paying upwards of $130, $140, $150 for it. It's just too much money for too little information, and it really does bother me. Let's get into number 3 for our pet peeves though. Pet peeve number 3 for me has to be awards. First of all, I get it, right? This is the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, huge award competition. This is 2015 double gold. First of all, it won second place. 2015 double gold, I bought this in 2020. I don't care what you won in 2015. 2018 Best Rye Award, we get it. You lived it up in 2018. At least this is 2021, which is also double gold. And then we have Dad's Hat over here, which I actually enjoy a lot. But this is Craft Whiskey of the Year according to Whiskey Advocate. Who are these people and why are they raising the prices of my whiskey just because they won an award? If I had to guess, these awards work the same way every other award show works, right? You go in, you pay a certain amount of money, you reach a certain tier, right? Pikesville said, we got this much in the budget for an award this year. We're going to take second place. And now all of a sudden Pikesville's allocated and I can't find it on the shelves. Then we have Fred Minnick coming out here every year putting out its 2021, 2022 Whiskey of the Year. And now I got to pay $280 for a Wild Turkey Master Keeps Unforgotten that sits on the shelf for $200 5 years ago because nobody wanted it. These awards bother me. They make me mad because I have to pay extra money, and they take standard bottles that should be on your shelf every day of the week and make them allocated. It just shouldn't happen, but I do understand there's influencers in this world, and one day I'll be as big as Fred Minnick, and we'll have Bourbon of the Week awards, and I'll be putting out my 2022 Whiskey of the Year, making you guys pay extra for it. But until then, get rid of the awards. Let's get back into it though. Number 4 is going to be the 3-tier system. Now, I don't know nationally too much about the 3-tier system, but I do know here in Pennsylvania why it bothers me. And there are a lot of other states out there that think they have the worst system, because I posted a TikTok saying Pennsylvania had the worst system. And there must have been 250 comments saying, no, 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 you've never lived here. Trust me, we have it worse. And in short, the 3-tier system basically says the distiller sells to a distributor and the distributor sells to the individual, and I'm the individual and I shouldn't have to go through 2 different people. But here in Pennsylvania, the distiller sells to the state. The entire state has one liquor store in it. It's called Fine Wine and Good Spirits. That's the entire state that I can buy liquor in, is in one liquor store. Now, yes, we have a chain of them, so I don't have to drive all the way across the state to get to it. But at the end of the day, that's no competition. And while you're thinking, Chris, don't be too mad about it, you can get it at MSRP. It doesn't matter what I can get it at if they don't get it in. We literally skipped over larceny B522 this year. We just didn't get any. You know why? Because the distiller didn't get it to the state, or the state didn't buy any. They didn't decide that they wanted any, probably because they were sitting on too much A122 that they didn't want to get B522. But they make that decision. It has nothing to do with me. There's not multiple stores saying, well, I sold a bunch of A122. I'll get B522 in for my customers. I can't build a relationship with managers. I can't say I've spent this amount of money this year. Can you give me a specialty bottle or anything? Pappy goes through a lottery, which I guess is the most fair way to do it, but I haven't won one in 4 years. Now, do I have the answer to this? Absolutely not. There's a lot of people that thought a lot more about this than I have. I know Washington got rid of the 3-tier system. Washington's just, they have a 35% tax or something on their whiskey out there, which is absolutely ridiculous as well. So I don't have the answer. All I do know is that the current system that we have in Pennsylvania is not the answer. I understand that there needs to be some control over it, but one state liquor store to run the entire state is absolutely ridiculous. Again, there's no competition. There's no reason to incentivize stores to do better or people to buy different bottles for individuals, because there's just no reason to do it, because they're selling out of them no matter what. Now, it would be illegal for me to drive to New Jersey and bring that liquor back into Pennsylvania, right? So I would never do that. But I can say I have been to New Jersey and I've seen the availability and the options that they have over there. I've seen the people who have built relationships with their local merchant, with their local liquor store, who goes out and gets them bottles or tells them about bottles, because they spend a lot of money in this hobby. And it's a fun thing to do when you can make those relationships and build those connections. And yet we have no opportunity to do that here in Pennsylvania. So again, I don't know if that has everything to do with the 3-tier system, but I can tell you right now, it's not good for me right now, and I wish it would change. And that's my rant on that, because that's about all I know. Cheers. But hey, if you've made it this far in the video, make sure you click that like and that subscribe button. But let's get into our fifth and final pet peeve, which we're going to call the museum curator. If you know what that is, that's the person that acquires the art, they safekeep it, and then they display it in the museum. And there's two parts to this pet peeve, because you have an individual and you have a store that can both be museum curators, and we're going to talk about them both right now. First, we're going to talk about museum curators when it comes to stores, and we've all been to one, right? You walk in, you go over to the whiskey section, maybe you're just looking for Wild Turkey 101 and you see it. The Holy Grail. You have Pappy Van Winkle. You have Stag Jr. You have Elmer T. Lee. You have the entire Weller lineup. You say, how did I get so lucky today for them to have all of these bottles? And then you look, and the price tags are double what they would be on the secondary market. If this is you, if you're one of these store owners and you hear this video and you have that whiskey display in your collection, just know that I will never shop at your store. I could go in there and you could be offering Wild Turkey 101 for free. I'm not taking a bottle from you. You don't deserve my money because you're taking advantage of a system. You want people to go in there. You want people to see these bottles. You have them. I don't know why you even bother putting them in there. You know why you put them in there? Because somebody's going to buy them. There's some sucker out there that's going to say, I just got into whiskey and I heard I have to have this bottle in my collection to be a whiskey collection. And they're going to pay the $600 for a Stag Jr. And I hate you for that, right? You're the person that's ruining the whiskey world and I hate you for it. Just know that. And I don't use the word hate too often, but I do not like you, okay? I take hate back. That was a little much. I do not like you, though. I had to put my whiskey down because if the whiskey isn't making my blood pressure go up, this video definitely is. But we still have one more to go, which is 5B, which is going to be the individual curator. This is the guy that you see posting on every Facebook group, every Raz group, every single Instagram post. It's 27 bottles of 107. It's 13 bottles of Elmer T. Lee. What do you need all of these bottles for? Why are you not opening them? Have you enjoyed one bottle and you said to yourself, this is all I'm going to live off of for the rest of my life? There's so much out there and there's so many people that want to try it that you're just hoarding this stuff. For what? Is this your retirement plan? Do you plan on selling this when you retire? What if the bourbon market crashes? What if tomorrow the world ends and now you're sitting on your collection of 107? Why are you doing this? Why are you like this? Open your bottles, drink them, share them, or don't buy 37 of them to begin with. It absolutely bothers me. I don't understand it. If you want to look at a bottle of whiskey, take a picture and put it on your wall. I can guarantee you that if you're one of my friends and I come over and you're hoarding your whiskey like this, we're not going to be friends for too long. I'm probably going to steal your bottles. I'm going to leave, and then I'm going to give them to the people that actually deserve them. Listen, I gotta calm down. My heart is beating through my chest right now. I'm tired of ranting and I'm sure you're tired of listening to it, but leave in the comment section below your biggest pet peeve when it comes to whiskey. I wanna know what it is. Check me out on all my social medias, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Go click follow or subscribe on everything. Make sure you follow me on Discord as well. Come chat with us 24/7. Over 200 members now. We actually broke the 200 member mark, which is absolutely crazy. Check out our Patreon page, that link in the description below as well. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly and stay healthy, stay happy, stay drinking. Cheers, y'all. People thought I talked fast before.